Hey guys, David McElwain here with Shoshone Hunt Stories. This is where we give you the tips, the tactics, also lets you get an inside look of what it is like to go to these outfitters on these hunts before you actually go.
All right, guys, so welcome back. Today, I have a pretty special guest with me, Peyton Meredith. You might recognize him from a few of the other podcasts we've done. Peyton has been on some pretty cool adventures the past few weeks. He's actually been to a place that I've always wanted to go to, and that's Africa. Peyton has been to Africa a handful of times, and I think every time I talk to him about it, I can see his eyes light up, and he's just so excited about going back. So he just got back from a pretty cool hunt and a pretty cool family vacation. So I wanted to get on here and talk with him about some of his experiences there. Peyton, walk me through the process of what it's like to go to Africa for somebody who's never been, because I've never been.
Yeah, David. And first of all, it's great to be back on the podcast and chatting with you about all things hunting. It gives me a chance to break away from the computer for an hour a day and just talk to you. Obviously, we work together, but it's always good just to be able to chat. And Africa certainly holds a special place in my heart. But this trip was really something special because not only did I travel over with my wife again and with some family and friends, just to spend time together and enjoy it. It was with one of our Shoshone outfitters, as it happened to be. And just by coincidence, this trip happened to be the 20th anniversary of the first time that I ever went to Africa with close friend and family. Pete Bust is kind of my dad number two growing up, a hunting mentor. 20 years ago, we decided to go to Africa together for the first time. And we went and hunted in South Africa. With Cruiser Safaris, who Shoshone represents and books for now. And little did I know, 20 years later, we would be going back for our 20th anniversary trip with our families. And we work with Cruiser Safaris now. It's small world, right? And so it was kind of a double whammy. We got to hunt, we got to spend time together, but I also got to spend some really good quality time with one of our premier outfitters that we book for. And we try to travel around and visit a lot of the outfitters we book for, whether it's North America or Canada or Africa, and we can't get to them all. But certainly we try to visit them and hunt with them. And boy, this just was a firsthand account of the quality of game, accommodations, staff, the top shelf operation that Shoshone is proud to represent in South Africa.
Yeah, it's not only a pretty cool experience. And you took your family on this one, didn't you? Other ones you've been by yourself or with a friend hunting, but talk me through the process of convincing your wife to go over there and hunt.
Well, listen, this is the third time that my wife has come along to South Africa with me. And quite frankly, I can't imagine ever going back without her. Our kids are getting old enough, our younger kids, that we're taking them next year. And it really is a family destination. It really is. And I know there's a lot of trepidation, especially for the first timer going. And that's one of the things when people, call me and they want to talk about booking hunts and going to Africa, we get a lot of first time callers. And that is something we work with a lot to be able to lower the fears, lower the trepidation about going, and basically just dot all the I's, cross all the T's to make everybody's first trip to Africa, which is often to South Africa, a smooth trip. And that's one of the things that we try to do. But I would encourage everybody to take your families. The accommodations are great. Usually, no matter where you go, the animals are everywhere. It's a little different than hunting over here in the States, where you might see one moose here or, a moose over here or something like that. But over there, it's like, well, there's a herd of this and there's a herd of that. So it's just a lot of fun. And this trip was real special because, we got to travel back with friends and family and made the long trip across the pond. There's so many different ways to get over there, but we traveled this time through Seattle, Idaho to Seattle, Seattle to Doha, Qatar, and then Qatar to Johannesburg. We stayed at the Upton Guest House, which is a place that I have stayed numerous times over the years. They cater to safari hunters during the hunting season, pick you up at the airport, meet and greet, dinner that night, breakfast, great accommodations, game rooms, trophy rooms. All you do is talk hunting for a day. Let your bags catch up to you, hopefully, if they didn't show up, and get rested up. And then we headed out to the camp about 3.5 hours kind of northeast of Johannesburg. And boy, we just spent 10 days just photographing animals, hunting. I didn't even actually hunt a lot. I was just there taking pictures. I did end up shooting a beautiful black impala. Just couldn't pass it up. I had never seen one before until this trip. And as soon as I saw one, I was going to bring one home.
That is a beautiful, beautiful animal. And I had never heard of a black impala. I had never heard of it, but it's just what it is a pigment change of a normal impala. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just a color variation, just like the different springbuck species have different color variations. And impala have your common impala. They have black impala. They have white flanked impala. They have black face impala. It's just a genetic difference between them. But boy, they sure are pretty. But it was great. I mean, we the things that Peter and Lizelle do there with Cruiser Safaris. They just make it feel special for families, really. And a great example of that is Jason and Susan, one of my lifelong friends growing up, Pete's son. They were celebrating their wedding anniversary while we were there. And Peter picked up flowers for Jason to give to Susan one night. And unbeknownst to them, they had no idea this was happening. He set up a bush dinner for them out on the farm with tables set up, a fire, everything for them to make dinner right in the middle of a big herd of sable. And we left them there. They were there by themselves all evening. And it was just beautiful. Took some great pictures at sunset of all the sable around them, making dinner, grilling kudu steaks and wine. And they do that kind of thing. It really is a family curated safari that is geared toward just checking all the boxes to make people's Africa's dreams come true. I was there when Pete, lifelong dream to shoot a sable. I got to film him shooting a beautiful sable. He shot a bush bug. Jason shot golden wildebeest, common wildebeest, a bunch of other animals. We had some other folks in camp. You always meet different people from around the country that you didn't know before these trips, and you make lifelong friends. And we met a couple other fellows in camp that we're friends with now. We've conversed since we got home, and Christy and I got to see one of them shoot a big Gems buck. We went hunting with them one morning, and it was just a super good time. And it was just kind of one of those trips that reminds you why you like to go, and you just can't wait to get back. And that's what we want to do at Shoshone. We want to bring those kind of trips to people. We want to send people on those kind of safaris, especially the first timers going, because once they go, they're just going to want to go back, because it is truly a magical place. And once you get to that, once you get bitten by that Africa bug, it buries deep, and you just want to get back.
Well, I'm glad it was the experience that you were looking for. That's one thing that I feel very strongly about us as Shoshone, is the fact that, so if it was for me and I, didn't use a booking agency and I just wanted to go over there and hunt and I didn't know, it's kind of a daunting feeling.
It is. Yeah, it really is daunting. And that is when people call us, and we book a lot of first timers. That's the first thing I tell them is, listen, there's going to be a lot of logistics. It is not as bad as it seems. But that's why you call somebody like us to help you walk through the steps. We've been there, done that. We can walk you through everything, and it's really not that bad. And quite frankly, you usually have a long time to prepare for it. But everything from the airfare to where you're going to stay when you get there, how to get your trophies back, tipping, that's a big conversation that comes up. How much do you leave for tips? What are the taxes like? I'll tell you one thing that I don't like are hidden fees. And so, we're very upfront about all the fees associated with all of our outfitters. We want your trip just to be basically paid for before you go. So when you get there, you're bringing spending money for shopping and for tips. And I just don't want people to have to worry about anything when they get over there. Enjoy it, enjoy the culture, enjoy the time. If you're hunting with somebody like with Peter and at Cruiser Safaris, or no matter any of the dozens of places that we book for all over the African continent, we just want you to have a good time and to feel comfortable no matter what you're doing, it was a good time. Again, it was a great experience. Everything just went real smoothly. I just probably couldn't have had a better time.
Good. And your wife, I'm sure she is planning the next trip right now.
Yeah, she had a blast. She went for the first time in 2007 with me. to another, happens to be an outfitter that we book for. She went to 2016 with me over to the Eastern Cape. And we booked for that outfitter as well. And the Eastern Cape is a little different animal than the Limpopo area where I was hunting with Peter. It's just a different part of the country, different flora, different fauna, really different kind of menu of species that you can hunt. And she loves it. And I encourage the wives to go out and go on these trips, go see the animals, go out hunting every day, go take photos. I mean, if you want to stay in camp and drink mimosas by the pool, great. I mean, you can do that. You can go to town, you can go shopping. There's so many things to do, but I really encourage the families to go. And next year we're going back again a couple of times. I'm fortunate enough to be able to take a couple different groups over. Probably ended up being 3 times. I'd love to take another group over to cruising next year, but we're going to the East Cape. We're going to Zimbabwe. We're taking our kids with us to Zimbabwe, our younger kids. And Charlotte can't wait. She just loves it. I wrote an article for a magazine a few years ago. It was kind of a satire piece, but it was exactly about what you just said, David. It was how to talk your wife into letting you go to Africa. And it was all about bringing her along and how to incorporate your family into the safari experience so that was never an issue with going, right? Yeah. Like you never had to get permission to go, that kind of cliche, kind of thing. I got to ask the boss, we get a lot of that. And I'm like, well, bring the boss with you. I'm like, it's real simple. And so, yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been a couple times without her and it certainly just was not as fun at all.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever you get involved your partner in stuff like that, it makes the time and makes the experience more worth it. It's good relationship building.
But yeah, I mean, it is an absolute family experience. And, go to the website, check them out, on our website, check out our different safaris. If I've been talking about where I just went was with Cruiser Safaris, and that's www.cruiserhuntingsafaris.com, cruiserhuntingsafaris.com. It's also on our website under curated custom safaris in South Africa. It's got a picture of Jason and Susan, my friends, drinking some wine with the sunset in the background. It was a great photo that Peter took. But check it out. We love getting people on their first trips, and it's just an awesome experience. But you've had a different experience lately. Now, I was in South Africa at the same time that you were just getting back from a whole different part of the world. You got to tell me about this. You've been on a big bear hunt with a bunch of Shoshone clients, and that was up. I mean, it was up in Canada, right? Vancouver. You're up on the logging roads. And,
yes.
And I mean, yes. What was that? Was that on Vancouver Island or where exactly were you, David? And
it was my first experience with any kind of bear hunting, to be honest with you. I filmed some bear hunts in Georgia. That was my only experience. So this experience was on Vancouver Island in BC. And mainly the hunting consisted of logging roads, slashes, glassing bears from a mile or two away, driving around to them and getting as close as you can to them. As far as the numbers of bears we saw, it was astronomical. They had one of the hottest springs they've had in a long time, and it was pushing 85 to 90 degrees while we were there. Very, very hot. But it slowed the bear down a little bit, and they were very crepuscular. It was very early morning, late afternoon. So what we would do is we would not wake up early at all. It was like you wake up at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then you head out and you spend the rest of the day. Unfortunately, it does not get dark there until 11 o'clock. Yep. So you have very, very long days, not a whole lot of sleep. Kind of make you tired, not going to lie to you. I think we were all kind of beat. The guy that I went with, the film, was Josh Kirkland. Josh is a very, very go guy, and I've never seen him tired.
Right. Josh is no stranger to the Shoshone camera.
No, Josh, by like day 3, he was tired, and I was like, man, I've never seen Josh tired on this. But it was a lot of long nights and everything. But Josh ended up, we say it was a 4-day hunt. So on day 1, he actually ended up missing a bear, the long shot, but had good camera light and everything. Missed a bear at 330 yards. We headed back to camp, kind of made a game plan for the next day, and our guide Brandon kind of knew where the area where he thought a big bear was living, and he would drive down these logging roads, and it was these almost like, I don't know what you call them for bears, but like like where they had been scratching a tree, like he'd break 3 or 4 limbs, head high. And he knew, he was like, okay, that's a big bear. So we kind of centralized in this spot looking for these bears. And we saw a bunch of sows and cubs, everything. But we finally got a glimpse of this bear. But he was walking this logging road and he disappeared for about an hour. We joked around. Brandon was laying down and he blew a predator call a few times. And I ended up looking across the canyon and I see this bear standing there. I'm like, holy cow, there it is. He was not hearing the predator call. He was just a coincidence that he did that. But we drove around there and made a really good stalk with my bear, and Josh shot him at, I think, about 60 yards. That is a really close, really close shot, really cool video. And it made for a cool experience. And that was my first time ever in BC. Later in the year, I'm going up to film Jay in BC to film moose hunt.
Yeah, that'll be a different experience. What was it like walking through the logging slashes, the cuts?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you, Peyton. I'm not going to lie to you. So our mileage of walking was probably at an all-time low as far as when it comes to hunts. What we do is we would pretty much hunting from the truck. This outfitter and this hunt there, mainly you cover so much ground. You go to one point, you glass. You go to the next point, you glass. When you see a bear, you drive as close as you can to it, hop out, walk the logging road mainly.
The logging roads, yeah. Did you ever have to break off down into the slashes?
Once or twice. It was when we were looking for that bear that Josh shot at the first day, walking through that, I think I fell at least twice. It's just, it doesn't look bad from a long ways away. It looks like you walk right up in it. But when you get there, it is like, it's just a tangled mess of just absolute spider web of fallen trees and everything. It's just not fun.
How many bears do you think you saw the whole trip?
So I think we tallied it up. So myself and Josh, we probably saw about 25, 26 bears. So the whole group as a whole was, we had Brandon Bailey and his dad and his son there. And as a group, we saw probably 50 or so bears, 55 bears. It felt, if we were constantly seeing bears, it felt like the only time that we were lacking seeing them was, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then once that, it would switch on, and then it seemed like everybody was seeing them. But it was a very cool experience. Everybody ended up tagging out. So Peyton, which is Brandon's son, he's 12 years old, and he shot his first bear there. It was super cool to see him doing that. He really enjoyed it. And it's a super good hunt. I feel like to take kids on, honestly. It's not super strenuous. It's not a hunt that you're going to be doing a ton of walking on, but it's somewhere where you're going to have constant action.
No, I was going to say, how did you get there? Like logistically to that part of Vancouver Island? I mean, you started out, I'm guessing, in Mississippi.
Yeah, I started out in Rapid City, South Dakota, flew up to Vancouver, and then flew from Vancouver and hopped on a small plane over to Nanaimo. From there, we traveled a couple hours north and ended up fishing the next day for halibut and rockfish, and had I enjoyed the heck out of that. I think I enjoyed the rockfish more than the halibut, to be honest with you. The jigging for them and the constant action was fun. Caught some rugged fish there doing that. And then from there, we traveled a couple hours north and went to bear camp. And we all stayed in one house. There was plenty of room for everybody. I don't think I would take my whole family there, but I think it's a really good guys trip. I think it's a good place to take your son, your daughter, whatever you want to do. I think it's a good place to go as far as that. And it's one of our Shoshone outfitters. So I can't say enough about these guys.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like low logistics, easy to get there, good accommodations, saw tons of bears, everybody tagged out, weather was good, fishing was, I don't see what else could have possibly gone wrong.
No, I mean,
it looks like it was just one of those trips where it kind of went off without a hitch.
Most everybody at least has a shot at a bear, I'd say.
Well, yeah, it sounds like it. And, I've hunted so many big, coming from Alaska, right? I mean, I've been in on, 65, 70 black bear kills in a big bear camp we used to run up there. And I imagine it's a lot like the hunts we used to do. Seeing bears is not the issues. Finding small bears is easy. When you see a big one, it's a big one. It's probably a lot of bears in between that you're judging and you're glassing. And it's just one of those hunts where it's like we would tell people to come up and hunt with us, and I'm sure they told you all the same thing. It's like, listen, seeing bears is not the issue. You're going to see bears. You're going to have a great time. It's just finding that one that's like, that's your bear, Josh. That's the one you're going to shoot.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're going to see game. It's just finding the one to shoot.
That's what was neat to me, was being able to learn about judging bears, because I've never been around them that much.
Yeah, bears are tough, right? They're one of those things where the small ones are really easy. The great big ones, they're really easy too. It's those ones in the middle where you've really got to look at them, look at the head, look at the ears, look at the shape, look at the, all this other kind of stuff to see. That's where it gets tough. And I bet the guides that were with you, I bet they trust their gut a lot. It's like, my gut's telling me that's a big one. I'm looking at it. That's the one we should go after. Or, you know what? If I'm second guessing myself this much, it's probably too small.
Yeah, exactly. I think those guys really, really trusted their gut when it comes to that. Yep. And I think that they all obviously try to go for the boars. Occasionally, and people mess up and shoot a sow, that kind of stuff. But they run a pretty tight operation there and try to go for quality. They're not going to just shoot any bear. They're like you said, they're going to shoot the big ones and the mature ones. And it was cool to watch. It was cool to learn about that process. Like I said, I've never been around it. So being able to capture it and document it and everything, I think it was a very cool new experience for me to go to see. But you said you ran a bear camp in Alaska.
Yeah, I just was real fortunate to be able to do that for years up there. And so when you talk about your experience bear hunting, I get a kick out of it from seeing the bears, because I assume growing up in Mississippi or wherever, you haven't been exposed to a whole ton of bears. Those first experiences for people that are great. And, like here at Shoshone, right, we get a lot of calls from people that have never hunted bears before. They've never seen a black bear. Black bear hunts are so logistically easy to put together, usually fairly low cost. And we put a lot of people on a lot of great black bear hunts for their first one. And of course, we try to put them someplace just like the hunt that you went on, where they're going to see a lot of bears. And generally, you can tell them seeing the bears is not the issue. It's just making sure that you find that great one and listen to your guide to shoot one. So I'm just glad you had a good time. Yeah,
there's a few different ways to hunt black bears, it seems like, but from what I've learned. So there's either you can run them with dogs, you can spot and stalk them, or you can hunt them over bait in some areas. Yeah, right.
You're exactly right. And most of your baiting is done in, interior Alaska, central Canada, where it's that boreal forest where there was no other way to see them, really. Yeah. Generally speaking, not everywhere. I mean, we have guys that do spot and stalk bear hunts up in northern British Columbia and stuff like that. But generally speaking, that thick forest, there's just no other way to see them. Your great spot and stalk bear hunts are going to be your coastal bears, right? Vancouver Island, coastal Alaska, coastal British Columbia, where you can actually see them along the ocean. You can see them in the clear cuts, and you can do those spot and stalk hunts, as well as places like Idaho and places like that, where you can kind of get the hillsides on burns and you can see them. Or you can run them with dogs. Yeah, I mean, there's really 3 different ways. And, everybody's got their own cup of tea, right? There's nothing wrong with either one of them. They're all legal, or they're all fair chase. You know what I mean? It's just whatever floats your boat, right? I mean, if some people like to, watch bears at baits, it's great. You get to see bears all night long. You get to judge them. They're not going anywhere. It's very low stress. Some people just don't like the idea of baiting. They want to do spot and stalk. I mean, it's
no, and that's what's nice is we have options for everybody. Whatever they want to do, we have an outfit that fits the things that you want to accomplish there. If you want to spot and stalk, we've got a guy. If you want to hunt over bait, we know people that can do that too. Bear hunting to me has been such a new experience, but it's something that I would love to take people on in the future. I've never shot a bear, but it seems like a good next step in my hunting career. I've always wanted to do it, spot and stalk.
No, we'll get you set up, but it's funny, and just, since we both had these experiences here recently, the parallels I think you can run between black bear hunting for a lot of first timers, getting their feet wet kids, and going to Africa. The parallels between the two are so similar. So many people have their first hunting experience going to South Africa, hunting with a place like, Cruiser Safaris or something like that, where it is a very good controlled environment. The guides are great. They walk you through every step of the process. Generally, the shots are from good rests. So it's very controlled. There's not a lot of like shooting at running game or game far away. It's the same thing with black bear hunts. It's usually a very controlled environment, whether it's over bait or spot and stalk. The bears generally they either know you're there or don't care at a bait, or they're, in a clear cut someplace just feeding along. You usually have plenty of time to take the shot. So there's a lot of parallels between the two. And no matter what we just try to match people up with the best hunt that works for them, whether it's Africa or bears or something like that. And we just happen to go on 2 adventures at the same time that just run so many parallels. And it's been fun talking about it, man. It's been good. It's been good catching up about it because we really haven't.
No, and that's what I love about our job, man, is we try to connect people, and deep down and truly, we want everybody to have that amazing experience. I want people to go on their first Africa experience and just see what's out there. I want people to go on their first bear experience. I want people to go on their first elk. Whatever it is like we all want to share this love of hunting that we have with everybody. And I want everybody to be able to experience it. And that's what I love about our job, man, is we're connecting clients with outfitters wherever around the world, whatever the dream trip is, we can find the people to connect you. And, I think it's a pretty cool gig. I really do.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. And I'm glad you had a good time. And I know you've got a bunch of other hunts lined up to film this year. And
we've got a full fall, that's for sure.
We got a full fall, but that's a good problem to have. And let's just make people's keep making people's dreams come true as we come to this fall. And I'd love to get another group over to Africa this fall. We got a bunch of late season specials with groups like Cruiser. Just get a hold of us, get a hold of me, and let's make it happen. I'd love to put another group together and get them back over there this fall. So
so guys, if you call Shoshone Adventure Consulting, more than likely you're going to be talking to this man right here. If you want to hunt North America, if you want to hunt South America, Peyton knows a guy. We all know guys. So if you call, Peyton is probably going to be the one you talk to first. So we'd love for you to call and talk about hunts with him.
You got it. I try my best, but we all do. It's a good team. But David, it's been good chatting, man. I'm gonna get back on the computer here and get back at it. But until next time, my friend, I love it. It's a good break from the day to just chat hunting for a little bit.
Hey, I appreciate it, Peyton. I will catch you guys on the next one.
All right, brother. Take care, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, there's your hunt story of the week. I want to say thank you for listening along, but if you want to hear more about these hunts, you can book a consultation online and talk to one of our guys. But we also have a weekly newsletter that comes out with the Shoshone featured hunts, but then also the cancellation hunts, if there is any, they will be on that newsletter. So once again, I want to say thank you for listening, and I will catch you on the next hunt story.